Plaintiff Brittany DeRocco says she and the defendant had mutual friends, and they often partied together. But she had no idea the defendant was a severe drug addict. Brittany claims the defendant used and sold cocaine and MDMA, and she's suing him today for an unpaid cell phone bill. Defendant Brandon McMullen says Brittany is nothing but a sloppy drunk. Brandon claims Brittany hooks up with random men when she's intoxicated, and she recently sent nude pictures of herself to his friend.
Start with you.
Okay, so I've known Brandon for a couple years now. He always kind of hit on me, but I took it as a joke because he has a girlfriend and a child. Yeah. I really didn't, I partied with him. We went, I knew him because we went out to concerts and, we had mutual friends. I didn't know he had as bad of a drug addiction as he did until later on throughout the phone plan, coke and MDMA. So I didn't know this until later on, or I would have never ever put him on my line.
How'd you find out?
Actually later on when I asked him, I threatened to turn the phones off, and he told me the only way he made his money was by, selling drugs. So if I turned the phones off, he couldn't pay me because he didn't have any income. Was
that where your friendship ended, or it ended based on this phone issue?
The big problem was the fact that I added him on the line because he had some, family struggles and he couldn't get a phone by himself, and he was a good friend and I trusted him. He just stopped paying.
What type of drug dealer can't get a phone?
I don't know.
No, that's more like a dope fiend. He couldn't. Dealer, but you may be making false accusations against this young man.
I knew him because we went out to concerts and we had mutual friends. I didn't know he had as bad of a drug addiction as he did until later on throughout the phone plan, coke and MDMA.
Defendant Brandon McMullen is being sued by his former friend, who claims Brandon is severely addicted to cocaine and MDMA.
You want to give me some background?
We were friends. We did meet through mutual friends. We like to go to concerts and parties and whatnot. She is sloppy when she goes out and gets drunk. She likes to hook up random guys. She was just sending my buddy nudes the other day. She did ruin his clothes when he found out she cheated on him.
That's not true.
You're a drug dealer or a drug addict?
No.
Neither of the two?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You want him to talk? Maybe he can verify what you're saying, since he's denying it. You want to come up? State your name.
My name's David Morris.
All right. Is what she say true about him?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Tell me how he owes for the bill. What happened here?
At one point,
caused you to have to get a drug dealer a phone.
At one point, he went into the Apple store or the Verizon store. He broke his iPhone. So he told me he was getting a new phone. He ended up somehow also getting an iPad. So he got a new phone and an iPad added onto my line, which is why I was going to cancel the plan because, first of all, he did it without my consent. And then I had another 2-year line, and he stopped paying the bill completely.
How do they allow you to do that? Get it without consent?
I have no idea. The way he explained it to me was that Verizon gave him the iPad for free because he broke his iPhone and he needed something for a couple of days until he got his new iPhone. So I didn't understand that he actually added the iPad as a line. So I called him freaking out, why did you do this? This is a 2-year plan. I'm done. You haven't been paying the bill. Our phones got shut off. I want the phones back. And that's when he said, that's how I make my money, Brittany. I can't pay you if you take the phones back because I don't have any source of income.
Did you say you must not be doing a good job? So give me the phones. What do you need them for? You come out, can't get paid. You're not getting paid because you can't even afford your own phone.
I mean, he took it all as a big joke. I was messaging him about it. I have a bunch of texts.
All right, sir, what do you want to say about this?
I was going to pay the plan. Her ex-boyfriend ruined her phone plan on her, so I went and paid the back due balance on it that was due. I missed one payment. I made the first month's payment, and then I was going to do the next payment, but I missed that one. And then all of a sudden, she didn't want anybody on her plan no more, so she just canceled it. I don't feel that I should have to pay for a phone I didn't have to use. I only had it for 2 months. And then I was going to give the phones back to her, and her friend came in and stole them out of my house while I wasn't home.
It actually was a girl that he was sleeping with. She really wasn't a good friend.
What does she have to do with somebody stealing from you?
It was her phones. I was going to give them back to her, but it was her friend that stole the phones from my house.
So what if it was her friend? So everybody you all know, if they do something to you, you can take it out on her? You all have a bunch of mutual friends, right?
Yeah.
If my friend goes over to Doyle and rips him off, Doyle can't sue me. Yeah, sue my friend.
That's right.
And so...
Unless You call him and say, go to Doyle's house. He's not home right now.
There you go. There you go. You know the law. You've been hanging around long enough to learn some law. Right. Yeah, unless she was an accomplice or an accessory before the fact, unless you can prove that, sir, you owe. And secondly, she cut him off and you act like she did it illegitimately. You talking about, well, I'm not going to pay because she cut it off. She cut it off because you weren't paying. You just said you didn't pay.
I missed 1 month.
Whatever. She has that right. She doesn't have to risk her credit on you.
I mean, it's under my name, but it's just the pure fact that he wasn't paying the bill, and I don't have credit yet because I'm so young, and he kind of destroyed my credit.
Cutting it off did not preserve your credit?
I didn't cut it off. That's not what happened. See, I asked him for the phones back because Verizon told me if I return the phones, they'll cancel everything. And I canceled out my plan so I wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. He kept not paying and he wouldn't return the phones. And Verizon wouldn't let me cancel anything without actually handing the phones in. I kept going to his house. He wasn't home. He wasn't answering me. So then they sent it to collections in January. And now I have collectors calling me and everything left over is his balance for the iPhone, the iPad, and his 2-year bills. Actually, later on, when I asked him, I threatened to turn the phones off, and he told me the only way he made his money was by, selling drugs. So if I turned the phones off, he couldn't pay me because he didn't have any income.
Defendant Brandon McMullen is being sued by his former friend, who claims Brandon is severely addicted to cocaine and MDMA.
And his response is, he doesn't know you, it's your fault. And that he shouldn't have to pay the bill because it was shut down for not paying the bill. Your logic is flawed. What do you do for a living?
I do roofing.
How often do you do roofing?
Like twice a week, 3 times a week.
You need to step it up. Roofing pays pretty well. You stay by yourself? What do you do with your money?
Yeah, I got my own apartment.
All right, you come across like a drug addict. Does he have an apartment of his own or not?
I haven't spoke with him. I have no idea.
You do know.
No, I honestly don't.
Now you're trying to protect him. Have a good day. Judge in front of plaintiff. Take your money.
I don't really have a problem now that it's settled, I guess, but just kind of a
Situation.
Sucks because, I trusted him and now I can't.
I was never really hitting on her. She did ask me to come over a couple times, but that was through Snapchat, so there's no real proof of it, so it's irrelevant.
Oh, he hit on me all the time, and my sister and all of our friends, and he was hooking up with the girl who stole the phone. I mean, it was just a big thing that he had a girlfriend and a baby and was just hitting on any girl that came around.